Nigeria is a country of over 300 million people, and education remains one of its most important pillars. Yet, in our institution today, more than 5 million students rely on a housing system that can only accommodate a fraction of them. Only 20% of students have access to hostel space on campus. The remaining 80% are left to struggle, not because they aren't admitted, but because the hostels are too few, outdated, or simply not renovated. This crisis affected students in ways statistics cannot fully explain. It disrupts their academics, it drained them financially, it burdened them emotionally. Many are forced to stay far from campus, live in unsafe conditions, or hop from place to place just to survive each semester. We are going out there to hear their stories, how they found where they live, the challenges they face daily, and what support they wish they had.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, please, what's your name?
My name is Emmanuel.
Okay. So, question number one: what is the biggest challenge that you face as a student when you're trying to find accommodation?
Well, when I'm trying to find accommodation, I sometimes face like when I had a bad phone, I could not click the proper hostel because people with better phones and faster processing phones used to have an upper hand when trying to get accommodation from the school portal. So that's what I mean.
Okay. So, if there's one thing that you can change about the current accommodation system, what will it be?
Well, it will be that the school should provide enough accommodations first of all, and then they should make everyone be the same standard. Not that when you go to one side, there will be better hostels than other places.
Okay. Have you ever stayed off campus before?
No.
Okay. So, like, what have you heard about staying off campus?
Well, I've heard that most of the time staying off campus is better than staying in hostels for my school. But there are just some minor issues like when people say there is no light in off campus, and sometimes some people say there is no water, but there's light.
Okay. So, what stresses you the most about trying to find accommodation, whether off campus or in campus? What is the major problem?
First of all, there is the problem of space. Just like for a student, you need space, like separate space for where you sleep and where you're going to stay to read. And in the hostel, for example, there is not enough space for 4 people to stay and read together. But off campus, when you stay off campus, you will have to stress yourself to find the proper accommodation that will give you enough space to do your basic.
Okay. So, if there's a platform that can help in finding accommodation, what would you want this platform to do for you?
Well, if there's a platform that can help, then I would like it to be able to source out accommodation and put it on maybe, let's say, a website like the school websites, and it will give you the ability to choose the type of accommodation you want, and it should have already stated the problems with each accommodation so that when you're applying for the accommodation, you will know the problems that you are going to face and the problems that you can cope with.
Okay.
Right. My name is Belu Sadina, and I'm student of student in Lagos University. How do you spend it? Well, to be honest, that's not been easy. I'm trying to cope with the environment, the system here, trying to adapt to the system here so that I'm going to excel as a student. And well, the lectures, ASM classes, and all of that, I have to keep up with time so that I'll make sure I don't miss my lectures. And well, for online classes, network issues and all of that, those are my personal issues, and I have to work things about it. And yeah, but it's not easy. It's not easy.
And what are you said you go to classes? Is this the very near school or far from school?
I say far from school because of the expenses in like the out expenses in Ikeja, because 500 or 400, my friends are not afford that much expenses, so I have to stay far from school. And okay, that's not been easy because spending transport money from there, I live at Guinness Agege, so spending transport money from there to here is as it's quite stressful. It's not easy. Sometimes I have to even miss some lectures just to cope up ahead. Exactly.
I can relate to that. Okay, I'll ask you again, what's the biggest challenge? I'll ask you again, what's the biggest challenge you face as a parent of students when trying to find out a house?
Okay. The biggest challenge I've been like facing before I got to my house was sometimes you might not get the actual, or let me say, when you see, like, let me say, how do I put it? I'm trying to avoid being scammed by all these agents and the likes. So spending money for an inspection fee has not been easy because sometimes you see a video on the phone now and like, okay, this is X house. When you get there, you have something that you don't like and you've already paid for your inspection fee. So it's also a waste of money on its own too, as you know. So I feel that if there's a platform or a program that they can they can solve student housing issues that such that they upload their house and landlords will upload their houses there and students will be like, okay, I like this, I like this, I like that, and the landlords are verified. I feel that way it's very easier to get accommodation here in Nigeria than we struggling to find houses online and they are not getting the like what we want, the interest we want. So that's one.
If you could change one thing about the current student housing,
that's what I just mentioned. That's the question of platform or a website that will solve student housing problem. Just to connect students to landlords to ensure that there is.
what do you think about housing and students? What stresses you the most?
What
Stresses you the most?
stresses me the
Yes,
most?
is it
Between
money? Is it distance?
all of it, money, transport, everything. The plan is whereby you be like, okay, I want to spend this so amount for transport. Then the next day your class represent that you have to buy this so book or this and that. What do I do? What do I do? Then you just have to manage your money, or you can tell your roommate that after like let me be with you to